Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hi guys, Aditya Vora here. Hope you are doing well. In my previous video, I spoke about how the passenger vehicle business of Tata Motors has turned around and how Maruti Suzuki, after a great start to the previous decade, has lost its way over the past 3 years. Innovation over the past couple of years has evolved to another level. Who could have imagined the accelerated shift to electric vehicles, a complete change in the powertrain? And that is not it. Features like autonomous driving, connected vehicle system, smart parking, data analytics are the future of mobility. From a car maker's perspective, these opportunities can be a game changer with huge revenue potential. Also, ignoring the EV trend could make the traditional car makers extinct. In this video, let us analyze Maruti Suzuki and Tata Motors with respect to certain parameters which I believe is likely to shape the prospects of both these companies. That will help you make a choice between the two. I will be rating each parameter to evaluate both the companies objectively. So let's start with parameter 1, the most important, electric vehicle adoptability. We haven't heard anything concrete from Maruti Suzuki on its EV plans, while Tata Motors is on a roll with a 70% market share in the electric vehicle space. The bookings for Tata Motors keep on piling up. The current and expected EV pipeline of Tata Motors looks promising. The demand is extremely strong for Tata Motors electric vehicles, as can be seen from the waiting period. I am sure you must have read about the news of private equity fund TPG Group investing rupees 1 billion in Tata Motors. Tata Motors has clearly given a roadmap for launching 10 electric vehicles over the next 4 to 5 years. While Maruti, on the other hand, has announced a partnership with Denso and Toshiba to build a battery plant, it plans to roll out its first electric vehicle by 2025. However, wouldn't that be a bit late with the pace at which electrification is happening? By 2025, Tata Motors would have had 8 to 10 electric vehicle models. So why is Maruti not getting into the electric vehicle bandwagon? I think there could be two reasons to this. Number one, Maruti Suzuki is going the hybrid way. It believes the transition to EVs will be gradual, with hybrid being the bridge between conventional and electric vehicles. No wonder the share of CNG vehicles in its portfolio is rising. Secondly, if you analyze the incumbent players in the two-wheeler space when it comes to electric vehicles, right from Hero, Bajaj and TVS, these players have been trend followers in the EV space. Now that is in complete contrast to the first mover advantage, which is conventional wisdom. The thought process in being late to the party is to learn from the mistakes players might make when a new product is launched. After all, learning from other mistakes is more prudent rather than learning from your own mistake. Maybe Maruti could be thinking on similar lines. Eventually, either Maruti will be right or Tata Motors will be right. Either you bet on Maruti and trust the judgment of the company, which has been market leader over decades, or you side with Tata Motors, who has global technological edge through Jaguar Land Rover on the pace of adoption of EVs. Either you take cues from way developed nations are adopting to EVs aggressively and how countries and corporations are hell-bent on reducing emissions, or you can argue India is a different market with limitations on charging infrastructure and range anxiety while adopting electric vehicles. In my view, Tata Motors has got its electric product right, while Maruti is late. Electric vehicle advantage goes to Tata Motors. I will give a 2-point weightage to Tata Motors in the EV aspect, as it's miles ahead of Maruti Suzuki. So the score being Tata Motors 2, Maruti Suzuki 0. Now the second parameter is R&D edge and parent support. While both Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki have strong support from their parent companies, the differentiator going forward is likely to be innovation and R&D readability. Features like autonomous driving, smart driving, data analytics are going to be crucial going ahead. One way to look at it is, for the Indian passenger car market, a company like Tata Motors, which has Jaguar Land Rover, is already ahead of the curve. The cars which JLR produces for the global market compete with Daimler, BMW and even Tesla in the EV space. The level of sophistication will be at par with the best in the business. Sourcing the concepts or electronics from JLR will give Tata Motors the edge for its domestic passenger vehicle business. Though Maruti Suzuki sources electronic components and high-end technology from its parent Suzuki, it does not have the same competitive edge which JLR has. Suzuki globally is a mass market car maker and known to compete on price and not features. So for R&D capability, it is Tata Motors 1 and Maruti 0. Now the third parameter is the consolidated picture and the volatility in business. As I mentioned in my previous video, JLR accounts for 80% of revenues, while the domestic business accounts for the remaining 20%. JLR is an extremely volatile business with too many moving parts. To give you an example, JLR sells its cars across the globe in majority of world currencies, having plants at multiple locations across continents. A slowdown in a single geography could hurt overall JLR revenues. Take China for instance. China has a higher impact leading to more uncertainty. Again, JLR dynamics are too global in nature as it is difficult to predict the global luxury demand. For JLR to compete with leaders like Daimler, BMW, Porsche, Tesla and Volkswagen, it must continuously burn cash in R&D. Also, competitive intensity is extremely high globally. All the above will lead to lower ROC and ROE, while cash flow won't be so easy to manage. So on an overall business, while analysts have been talking about the much awaited turnaround in the domestic business, especially the passenger car business of Tata Motors, let us assume the momentum in passenger vehicle business continues and EVs are a big hit over the next 5 years. The best case scenario will be the loss-making passenger car business turning profitable and the share of passenger vehicle segment accounting for say 15 to 20% of the total revenues in the times to come. Still, JLR would account for more than 50% of revenues. Too big to ignore in my view. While Maruti Suzuki on the other hand caters to the Indian car market with 90% sales coming from the domestic market. The return ratios for Maruti are best in class and are expected to improve as going forward capex is to be done by Suzuki, the parent company, and not the domestic Maruti Suzuki. Currently, cars made by Suzuki in its Gujarat plant are sold to Maruti. This will not burden the balance sheet and improve asset turnover, resulting in higher efficiency and financial ratios. Also, Maruti can focus on investments in marketing and strengthening their dealership. So from a stability perspective, along with a view on the consolidated picture, I believe Maruti wins. Maruti 1 and Tata Motors 0 in this case. So as per the important parameters to evaluate both the companies, Tata Motor looks better placed to capitalize the future growth. However, in the stock market, what is important to be seen is how much is in the price, as the market tends to discount positive news in advance. Further, re-rating can happen in Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki if the following factors play out. For Tata Motors, watch out for 1. Pickup in JLR volumes resulting in higher market share. 2. Sharp revival in volumes from China leading to higher margins. Third, improvement in JLR EBIT because of the above factors along with cost savings. Fourth, lastly, improvement in free cash flow generation. For Maruti, the stock can get re-rated if the following things play out. 1. Increase in market share in the SUV segment, which is a major pain point. 2. Preponement in plans for the rollout of electric vehicles. A disappointment in any of the above will lead to underperformance of the stocks as majority of positives have been priced in the stock. Thank you.